Good morning, everybody, from the edge of Idaho. We will be in Salt Lake City in 133 miles by the looks of it. Beautiful scenery here. It's nice and cool this morning, although it's going to be a scorcher today. We figured we get on the road a little earlier than we normally do. Try to beat some of that heat. Of course, sitting in a fish tank here doesn't help. Sunshine gets pretty intense in all this glass. It is absolutely beautiful here on these slopes. Something nice to wake up to. And you saw the sun coming up this morning over the mountains. Beautiful. So we've changed direction a couple of times. We're going to end up scrapping a few things off our trip just because we ended up, we lost so much time in Montana. We're not going to be seeing everything that we were hoping to see. And the main reason for that is because we have to be back. We'd like to be back in Missouri in August, so beginning of August if we can. So that's cutting it pretty short, but we're going to make a trip out to the ocean yet, have a look there, maybe see some whales or sea lions or whatever's out there, and then back. So we're going through Salt Lake City to Reno and onward, and we'll see. I mean, plans change constantly as we're cruising around. We find a new road and we re-navigate to some other place, but it is pretty, and we are enjoying this trip. And yeah, feel really blessed. I honestly do. Humbled and blessed to be able to see this. Most people will never get a chance, and I feel very, very fortunate to be able to see this and experience this, and the kids can see it with their own eyes. And yeah, stuff that I've read about but never ever had the opportunity to see. Beautiful. So that is our morning. We have not had breakfast yet, but we will catch it somewhere. It's nice to drive for a bit and then take a break. Things are running good. Just started, of course. She's running pretty cool. She'll end up warming up. But it basically didn't go much over 240 all day yesterday, so I think we're going to be all right. Everything I like to do when I'm driving, I always keep an eye on my oil pressure. And it's something just to get used to looking at. Your oil pressure, your battery gauges, your temp gauges, to make sure what's normal. You'll eventually get that memorized in your head. And then when something gets abnormal, you'll know. So I constantly check them out in the tractors as well. It's kind of where I primarily learned to do that. I always keep an eye on it in my tractors to make sure nothing's going wrong. But it's just a great practice to get into. It might seem like useless information, but really it's not. Because if something changes, it's always somewhere, and then it changes, then you know you have a problem. So we're on the road. Alright, we just crossed into Utah. Not exactly sure when, but we did see a billboard telling us to drive sober and welcome to Utah. So I don't know if that was a border or not, but we're in Utah now. Basically looks the same, except the right first thing I noticed here is a ton of corn. And I haven't seen much for corn in Montana or Idaho. That doesn't mean it's not there, it's just we haven't seen a whole lot of it. So lots of cropland here in this particular spot, and yeah, just nice. Still got loads of mountains. My lane's supposed to end here, I don't know where. Oh, right here. Cute little horses. No corn per se right here, but there was a little one. So we're still about an hour from Salt Lake City. I don't know if we're going right into the city. Probably going the outskirts, I would think. Here's some more corn right here. That's pretty tall too. At least 6 feet, not more. Yeah. Okay, so here, this land around this particular area is super duper flat. Thing is kind of neat that one of Cora's pen pals happens to live here. She just remembered the name on the plaque of the town of one of the girls, so she went and looked it up, and sure enough, her friend Heidi, or it's not even, she didn't even know this person, somebody just, it's a circle letter of a bunch of girls her age writing letters, and she happens to live here. So we drove down this road here to drop a note off in the mailbox. This particular area is completely flat, and they have these little tiny canals all over the place. Not a lot of water in them, or not very deep. And then these, as far as I can tell, I've seen this before, you drop that in here, once you get the water flowing, it'll suck the water out of this ditch into the field and basically flood irrigate it. And because it's flat, that'll work. that water will flood the whole field, and then they'll stop the water from coming in, and it'll just sink down into the dirt. So rather than having an aerial system like with a pivot or wheel move, this is just flood irrigating. Kind of neat. Very neat. There you can see a little ditch there too. Like I said, they're not very deep, but enough to get water on here. Beautiful area. Get some crops off here already. We're just passing under a bunch of cornfields again. There's lots of that in this area. Very nice. I don't know what these are. Some kind. I thought they were like crows and ravens first, but they're not. They're almost like a duck. Kind of neat. Big long beaks on them. There are loads of them here. Just hanging out. I'm gonna try to move forward here, see if I can get a little closer.
Are they brownish or?
Yeah, kind of blacky, dark brown.
They're almost like this.
Mom, where's the bird?
I'm looking here.
Yeah, I can't get closer, they keep flying away.
They almost look like a sandpiper with their mouth or their noses.
Yeah, similar. Interesting.
They're everywhere.
There's piles of them here in this field.
Talking about the side of the road. It's pretty narrow.
Every time it rains. But some of these places, I don't know if here, when it rains, and all that water goes down. You're stuck in one of those canyons, you get water.
tires changed. Now we need seat belts.
No littering.
No littering. $2,000 fine. Oh dear, we're going down by the looks of it.
Well, I can do without all the bumps.
Yeah, I do. Think it would have been a lot simpler to pave the road. Motorhomes over there, you know, I wonder if we should stop or you know, maybe there's something to see, right? Anyway, we got a little bit further in here and started to laugh. He says, everybody look to the left and see Mom's motorhomes and nice sandy beach, and there was a bunch of trees and sand. That was it.
No water.
No water, no motorhomes. Man,
Look at the scenery just changed.
I was just gonna say, it's like right at the border. We just totally hit a different scenery. That's how they divided it. We don't want
you guys get the flat side, go take the heel. Driving through. Gotta keep messing this up. Where are we, folks? Idaho?
We're in Utah.
Utah. Oh, man, I can't remember where we is. But it is desolate. Like here now, well, this spot's actually better. Like there's actually a little bit of grass growing in here.
Now you're a liar.
Hey?
Now you're a liar because it looks pretty nice.
Well, I was just saying, this is better. It's extremely poor dirt. Like there's rocks sticking out all over the place. I don't know. I'd be pretty depressing farming here, you think. This would have been somebody's nice house. Hopes and dreams right there. All falling apart. But it's so dry here. I would think you would need thousands of acres to make a living here. Like maybe in the neighborhood of 10 or 20,000 and run enough cows to grow food here. The interesting thing is, as dry as it is down below, here and there up on these mountains, you can still see little patches of snow. So, I guess if you live close enough to that, you're going to have some snow melt runoff coming down. You'd have, you know, nice water throughout the year. These are a little bit taller trees. Most of what we've been driving through is very scrubby. I took my camera out too late, I guess, but you can still see through the grass here how thin the soil is, though. These trees would at least offer some shade. The other stuff we were driving through was maybe a foot or two tall.
Cedars.
They do look like cedar trees, yeah, you're right. It might be.
Kind of random.
Yeah, not very tall cedar.
Yeah, they're cedar.
I don't think you're going to make any fence posts with that.
No, but they're just random ones.
Yeah.
Compared to what we were just driving through.
Anyway, once again, it's beautiful country. Very pretty, but so desolate. I was talking about how you could raise cows on this. I have no idea. There's nothing in here. But it's all fenced. Down here it's swampy.
Because there's cedars, like
When it rains, it must just get a lot of water.
weird.
Very strange. all desolate. Here we got sand sticking right out of the ground. I don't know if that's salt or sand. I think it's just sand. What keeps this country from blowing away, I do not know.
You think that's sand?
It almost looks like water, but it's sand, yeah.
Okay, it's sand.
Yeah.
Looks like salt.
No, you might have some alkaline on the top of it. No, it's sand.
No, it's sand. Definitely.
Definitely sand. Crazy. I have yet to see any cows. I haven't seen any. It's like no cows around that I can see anywhere. People are farming this. It's all fenced. And you see little signs for ranch this and ranch that. I would love to talk to one of these ranchers because they must need an enormous amount of acres per cow. I don't know how you could feed anything on this. It's not even fit for a goat. There's just nothing here. In my opinion. Maybe these plants are edible, but they don't look like it. So air conditioning quit. I say all right a lot. I noticed that, but the air conditioning kind of quit. Got a little warm on us and stopped. So just added some more cans. It seems like it's working now again. There must be a small leak in the system somewhere. It looked like it was on when I had the doghouse open yesterday or day before, playing with the wires. It looked like it was on the compressor pump itself. There was some green fluid there, so it's easy to see where the leak is. So I didn't get around to look and see if it's something I can tighten. Probably not. Probably it's just yeah, I don't know. It's another issue. We're just gonna keep going. If the AC really quits and I can't fill it, I'm getting tired of dumping money in. I mean, we haven't really spent that much money. I make it sound like it has. It's just, it's hard to enjoy your holiday when you're always pulled over fixing something, right? The spark plug wires went again today. Same one. Melted out or whatever it did. It was arcing sideways. I could feel it when I was driving because it was chugging. It wasn't running right. Wes and I crawled under there and you could see it was sparking sideways. And I was like, it's not supposed to do that. So we replaced that one. We had a whole box of them that we didn't use. Basically, I bought a whole new box. You buy a set of them at a time. 8 plugs. And so, oh, Wes, it's all in the garbage. Used them all and just replaced the one that we needed. So now today again, I had another one to replace. Same one. It kind of melted out. Now I know there's high temperature spark plug wires and we don't have those because nobody had them in stock, so we just bought standard ones for 454, and the ones on the motorhomes they do recommend running higher, but they said you'll probably be fine, you're just not going to get as many miles. Well, if not as many miles means, you know, only a couple hundred miles, I guess they're right, but I think they meant a little higher than. We will be on the hunt for some high temperature ones then, because it's getting kind of old doing this. You'll feel it all of a sudden going up a hill. You have no power. You're only running on 7 cylinders instead of 8. What else? I think that's it. We are in, I've seen a name here somewhere. Wells? You know where we are? Wells? Yeah, Wells, Nevada. Anyway, somewhere around there is where we are right now. And we're going to carry on. It is pretty hot, 37 degrees Celsius. which is on the Fahrenheit scale, I think just wrote down as hot, I think. So yeah, us and everybody else. I mean, it's not bad if you can get a little bit of a breeze going. I feel a wind blowing on me right now. I guess there must be a fan behind me right there. That feels good. And he's got no shirt and he's enjoying it, living the life. Anyway, stay hydrated, drink coffee, because I drink coffee all the time, but plenty of water, lots of water. Stay hydrated, stay cool, and just try to enjoy the weather, I guess. All in all, it could be worse. We were just talking about how cool it is. The trains get to go through the mountains, but then we don't. We're like, oh, I wish we got to go through, and here you go. Now, if that hole wasn't there, this would not feel very good. And out the other side. That's neat.
Caught behind Venetian blinds, out of reach for the city lights. This ain't where I belong. Hey, look at me, man, what I've become. I've been running east, looking for a sunset, digging deep since '99. What I thought was gone was sitting in my pocket in plain sight all along. I think it's time for me to go, burn all bridges. All I know, I got lost along the way, fell between the foam, pulling stitches. Time to let go. So come what may.
Okay, this has officially been the most boring day of driving ever. It's just mile after mile after mile after mile of this. Hours and hours and hours of this desert. Hope you all enjoyed the video. We'll catch you on the next one.
Seems so rebellious, it's falling apart right now. I'm bleeding, an easy kill, gonna leave it all behind. I think it's time for